that we hear you means that we should listen to each and every delegate from each and every country, and then we should incorporate all ideas, concerns, considerations, aspects into the committee. And then we do means that we should take actions, we should realize those ideas by writing and passing draft resolutions. And I think that this is really the essence of the United Nations and all other international organizations to make this world a better place.
My understanding is that we are going to listen to everything you say and we are going to try it.
If you ask me, the meaning of we hear you, we do. I thought that it just means we are here to hear, for real.
Women Expo is trying to build a bridge between the youth and the global society by hearing the voice and ideas from teenagers. That's what I think the slogan of "We hear you, we do" actually means.
Delegates' voice could be heard by everyone. Every single word will make a difference. We can hear you. We do hear you.
We hear you, we do.
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 We hear you. We do.
We hear you, we do.
Dear delegates, directors, assistant directors, faculty advisors, volunteers, and guests, welcome to Women Expo Online 2020. My name is Elaine Chang and I am serving as the Secretary General of this year's conference. When we first came up with the conference theme, we actually didn't expect to turn this year's conference into an online one. But due to the current situation with coronavirus and the recommendation of self-quarantine, we are regretfully but also honored to have you here with us in this brand new experience. So the theme for this year's conference is We Hear You, We Do. When we're thinking about the theme of this year, we were actually thinking about all the experience and all the roles that we have played in different kind of Model United Nations conference, or basically in our daily lives. We all need to encounter with different ideas, different perspectives, different voices from different group of people, maybe sometimes from ourselves at different time. So by using We Hear You, we're hoping that all the delegates, or basically everyone who's involved in this year's conference, to be able to hear carefully from others, to understand voices from different perspectives, to understand the situation of different countries, and also to come up with solutions that could apply to us all. The core of Model United Nations Conference is for teenagers to have a platform to discuss those heated topics in our international community. But the most important thing for discussion is to hear first. So we hope that all the delegates could put We Hear You inside your hearts and try your best to understand each other's by standing on different viewpoints. And we capitalize We Do at the end of the theme is because We Do not only means to emphasize that we will, but also we're hoping that everyone who's participating in this year's conference to actually take actions on different kind of things that you encounter or on different kind of thoughts that you've had. Try to do as much as possible to benefit everyone who's around you. So maybe then one day we will be able to benefit the human beings. So We Hear You, We Do is the wish of everyone who has ever participated in WeMon-related conference, that we actually hope Model UN to be inclusive enough for all the different ideas to be heard, for all the different solutions to be discussed, for all the different kind of people to be able to participate. So we're hoping you can enjoy this year's conference even though it's online. And maybe for many months after, we will still need to meet online. But this won't stop us from hearing each other, from meeting each other, from making friends with each other. So I really hope that all the delegates could enjoy this year's conference. We hear you, we do.
Hi, my name is Achika. I'm from Edison, New Jersey, and I attend college at the University of Pennsylvania. I am a rising sophomore in the Wharton School, and I'm hoping to double concentrate in finance and operations information decisions. A little bit about me: I started doing Model UN in the 7th grade when I had no clue what it was. I continued throughout middle school, and then in high school, I was really able to grasp what Model UN really is and what it has to offer. Model UN for me was a way to learn about everything that's going on in the world and make the most meaningful connections. Every single conference, I was able to walk out with at least 3 new friends and at least 3 new things that I've learned. And I think those are 2 of the main things that we really want you to take from this conference. We want you to learn as much as you possibly can about whatever topic the committee you're in is debating and discussing about. Listen closely every time one of your committee members is giving a speech or even talking during unmoderated caucuses, because the people in that room are going to teach you so much with every different speech or every different conversation that you have with them. And secondly, leave these next 4 days with at least 3 new friends, because the friends you make in these conferences will be everlasting and have such a great impact on your life. The main thing that we want to see is people from all over coming together to form comprehensive resolutions and really meaningful connections while doing that. Focus on the topic at hand and making an impact rather than the award at the end. And while we are super, super sorry that due to the situation, the conference is online, I think you all should make the most of it. Take this as an opportunity to talk to your chairs one-on-one rather than in a room full of people. You'll be able to get distracted much more easily since it is online. So this conference is truly going to be everything that you want it to be and everything that you make it out to be. So we really hope you have an amazing experience, and we look forward to seeing the members of the Arab League Committee that I will be chairing alongside Benai. And just to reiterate this year's theme, we hear you, we do.
Hi, welcome to the WeMon Expo Online. My name is Zhen Yan, and I'm currently a 3rd year at the University of Chicago, studying math and economics. I also serve as the Chief Strategy Officer at the Model United Nations of the University of Chicago. Welcome to the conference, and we're more than excited to meet you. Over the next week, you will have the chance to be one of the delegates in World Health Organization, UNSC, or the Legal Committee to discuss world challenges with your peers and to find solutions. This year, the theme of the WeMon Expo Online is We Hear You, We Do. And I think there are 2 understandings I would like to share with you. First, we hear your invite. We hear our promise from last year that we'll meet again this year. And we made it. And we are really glad that you made it as well. Second is that we hear every single one of you. We also hear every human being on the earth. We hear their concerns, their problems, their difficulty, and also their wishes and their happiness. And we note them down and we take actions. In the Model United Nations Conference, we are empowered to make changes. We are empowered to make differences. You will discuss, you will negotiate, you will debate with each other, but at the end, you will work together. You will integrate all the ideas, backgrounds, and cultures and stories together to find the best solution to the problem. And we know that you can, and we look forward to seeing you uplifting society and making contributions to the community that nurtured all of us. It is unfortunate that we cannot meet with you physically in Beijing this year, but we are ready to take this opportunity to build a relationship and friendship with you, such that when we meet again next year in Beijing, we can have a long catch up after long time no see. Over the past 6 months, I think one word that taught me a lot, or I learned a lot from one word, is resilience. Resilience means that we are ready to make changes. We are ready to adapt. We are ready to tackle all the problems with ease. And we are ready to move on after failure and be happy all the time and be mindful. It is exceptionally important for all of us to be resilient, to take care of ourselves, to recharge, to refresh, and to make sure that we are ready to tackle anything. And we wish that you can take the conference as an opportunity to be resilient, to be ready to tackle all the problems. At Munich, we took the initiative to make sure that all our contents will be suitable over Zoom. Our chairs had rehearsals to make sure they'll be able to bring the same experience, same physical experience, meaningful and pedagogical, to you over Zoom. Again, welcome to this conference. And good luck on behalf of all staff members from Model United Nations of the University of Chicago. We hear you. We do.
Hi everyone, my name is Ria and I am your chair for the International Olympic Committee, or the IOC, for our second session this year. I was born in India, but I've lived in Australia since I was 7, and I'm currently in my second year of studying law at the University of Oxford in the UK. I started doing MUN in 2014 with an organisation called UN Youth Australia, and it was a key part of why I decided I wanted to go into law. I hope you guys come to love MUN as much as I do and use this conference as an opportunity to figure out what you're passionate about. The theme for this year's conference is very fitting for the circumstances that we find ourselves in. I know as young people, we can often feel like our voices are not heard, and that feeling has only become worse with isolation, given that we can't see our friends as normal and we can't go to school as normal. This year's conference is a great opportunity to hear each other again and discuss our thoughts on the issues that are going to affect us the most. Hopefully, once the pandemic has gone away, we can have a great conference in person next year. I hope we can learn from our online MUN experience and bring together the best parts of both online and in-person MUN. Do stay involved with WeMUN, because I hope that we'll have some great social events and a great atmosphere where we can all be together in one place again. I'm very excited to be one of your chairs this year, and I'm keen to see the amazing ideas that you guys have brought to this conference. This is a really fantastic and unique opportunity to get involved in MUN, because it's probably less intimidating than in a real life MUN, where you physically have to stand up in front of people that you've never met before and give speeches. So I really encourage you guys to take advantage of this and step out of your comfort zone to really get involved in your committee. These are also going to be some very intense days, so please make sure that you eat well, sleep a lot, and drink plenty of water, because doing MUN does take up a lot of energy. Also remember to have fun and make friends with the people that you talk to in your committee, because that's one of the best parts of this conference. I hope you're all excited for the conference and get involved, because remember, we hear you, we do.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, evening, and in the middle of the night, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tianqi Zhang, and I go by Tianqi. I'm Chinese, and I'm from the United World College, Changshu, China. I will serve as the Commission Secretary for UN Forman ECOSOC Elementary School in Women Expo this year. Well, for years, Women Expo in our lives serves as an old and genuine friend who continuously brings us great memories, everlasting friendships, as well as lessons we wouldn't really get from regular classes. Well, we matter, still young, it's you now, and the one from last year, we are we. Those themes always ring me a bell as the representation of each and every unforgettable August I have spent in BICC with you guys. Even at such difficult time in the year of 2020, Women Expo has not let us down, but still come to our site as usual. Well, to me, the theme this year, we hear you, we do, conveys such powerful message. Yet we are now facing such difficulties with schooling and working from home. Personally, this theme is an encouragement that we should not let the pandemic limit our voice or our willingness to make a change. Well, in the meantime, the year of 2020 also provides us freedom and solitudes for our own reflection and personal growth. It is a year of recharging for each and every one of us, a rare chance for us to anticipate for a more impressive individual and collective performance in the hopefully on-site Women Expo 2021. Well, in the end, I would like to say, though under this unexpected global pandemic and every disappointment it has brought, I'm still looking forward to work with our impressive and hardworking Model UN colleague to this exciting upcoming debate, and more importantly, to meet each extraordinary of you with your young, vibrant, and ambitious spirit. Well, we hear you. We do.
Hello everyone， 我是 WeMonk 的 Secretary General。2020年，我们经历了很多的不确定性。面对这个世界发生的一切，我们一次次重塑着自己的看法和世界观。在 Women Expo 的舞台上，我们总是希望可以听到更多青年人的想法。我们也一直在为创造更多属于青年人的发声机会而努力着。今年的 WeMonk 也将第一次通过线上的形式跟大家见面。形势改变，热情不减，是我对各位代表的期待。希望即使是通过这种形式，各位代表也可以在会场上产生激烈的交锋和完美的斡旋。2020年的 WeMonk 设置了2个分会场，我们一边回望历史，去重看拿破仑战争后的国际秩序，我们一边展望未来，去规划2020年世界卫生大会的蓝图。希望各位代表可以将自己置身于大事件的世纪，去和来自地球各个地方的声音产生大家所期待的碰撞和融合。在这个充满多元的舞台上，希望各位代表可以把内心的想法变成掷地有声的发言，希望所有声音都能够被表达、被听见、被尊重、被感谢。2021年的 WeMonk， 我们依旧期待着你们的期待。我们一直在倾听着你们的声音，我们也在倾听整个世界。我们不但在倾听，我们也一直在行动。云端见面，我们等你。We hear you, we do.
And now let's welcome the CEO of Wheeling International, also the Vice President of Youth Bridge Foundation, Mr. Cao Shuye, for his speech.
亲爱的各位代表，各位模拟联合国指导教师、主席团、志愿者和所有的会务同事们，大家好久不见！很高兴，也很遗憾，以这样一种方式与大家见面。WeMonk Expo 的第13年，2020注定将是特别的一年。首先，我依然代表大会组委会欢迎大家聚会云端 WeMonk Expo， 欢迎你们！去年的此时，我们正在北京国际会议中心迎接大家的到来，我们也正在紧张地准备着开幕式，而大家也满怀期待着面对接下来的4天，跃跃欲试。但是，没有人会知道1年之后的现在，我们以这样一种方式认识或者再相见。当下，这个世界的不确定性太多，不确定新冠疫情到底会不会结束，也不确定疫情对人类的大范围影响何时会下降，不确定中美关系将走向何方，也不确定美国大选后的中美关系会不会有所改善，不确定我们到底何时还能再次出国旅行，也不确定我们何时能像往常一样在国内畅通无阻。这些不确定让每个人的心中可能都产生了更多的犹豫、彷徨、失措，但在今天，我想说，对于我们更多人而言，如何在不确定中寻找确定，如何在动荡之中寻找稳定，正是这样一个大的时空背景给予我们每个人的机会。大家未来的选择方向，无非是出国留学，或通过高考升入国内的大学。也许疫情的到来让更多人对于未来的留学充满了不确定性，但无论你选择什么，一个确定的答案是，各国之间的交往不会因为疫情而停滞，全球化或许会受挫，但不会消失。相反，国际交流、跨文化交流的形式 反而会随着疫情的到来而变得更立体，突破空间的限制。面对未来，这样一种我们已经可以确定的线上融合线下的国际交流与沟通方式，你是否已经做好了充分的准备，在感官与情感层面上，在思想层面上去接受、适应，并不断参与，而不是排斥。说到模联活动，同样如此。16年前，当我第一次参加模联活动的时候，也从未想到过会有这样一天，以线上的形式与各位老师和代表们交流。哪怕是在今年初疫情刚刚爆发时，我想也很少有人会想到，可能未来的一段时间内，我们都只能以这样的一种形式去参与模联。而在未来可以预见的半年内，从芝加哥模联的海外会议、联合国协会、世界联合会的海外会议，到牛津大学的中国模联会，再到东北区域会，还有我们在各个省市与教育局、团委和学校合作的不同级别的模联会议，绝大部分也都将以线上的形式呈现。如果我们从负面的角度去想，这可能是一种无奈和被迫，但蔚蓝和微mạng存在的意义，就是让这样一种看起来的无奈和被迫，变成一个新的创新和突破的机会。蔚蓝和微mạng在10多年前本身就是一种创新性的教育模式和模联活动的运营方式而呈现出来的。那么在今天，我们也当然有责任与义务引导、帮助更多的代表们理解、适应更新型的线上融合线下的模联组织形式。所以，同样的道理，疫情的到来让我们的活动产生了很大的不确定性，但这并不意味着我们要终止参与。我们包括所有的老师和同学们所确定的，依然是对模联的热爱与坚持。最后，再次感谢大家，预祝代表们在未来几天的线上会议中都有好的表现，也希望我们有一天能在线下重聚。预祝微mạng Expo 2020圆满成功，谢谢大家。
And now let's welcome Ambassador Gong Jianzhong, Vice President of China Public Diplomacy Association, for his keynote speech.
亲爱的同学们、老师们、朋友们，大家好！非常高兴参加蔚蓝国际举办的第13届全球青年模拟联合国大会。我谨代表中国公共外交协会对大会的成功举办表示热烈的祝贺。模拟联合国是一个国际舞台，汇聚了来自世界多个国家和地区对国际事务和国际关系有浓厚兴趣的青年朋友。通过参加模拟联合国活动，为时代建言，为未来发声，为世界的和平稳定与人类的民生福祉做出贡献。这是一个非常有意义的活动。2020年以来，新冠肺炎疫情肆虐全球，在国际社会引发了全面危机，各国都面临抗击疫情的艰巨任务。同疫情的斗争证明，全球公共卫生事件对世界经济的冲击是任何一个国家都无法独善其身。世界各国命运相连，休戚与共，携手应对困难和挑战，合作抗疫，共克时艰，成为国际社会的共同选择。当前，国际局势错综复杂，世界经济陷入深度衰退，全球合作屡遭强劲逆流，单边霸凌行径大行其道，国际体系面临失序风险。但是，中国坚定维护以联合国为核心的国际多边体制，维护全球自由贸易体系的庄重承诺从未动摇。几个月以来，我们积极同其他国家和国际组织加强国际疫情防控合作，维护世界经济稳定，促进全球化 向更加开放、包容的方向发展。同学们，本届模联大会是在一个非常特殊的背景下举行的。我希望大家在此期间认真读一些历史书籍，尤其是近代国际关系史，从历史中汲取智慧和营养。大家要充分领会联合国宪章的精神实质和国际关系准则，以维护世界和平与发展为宗旨，以造福世界人民为己任，学会通过和平谈判解决国际争端。青年是全社会最富有朝气、最富有梦想的群体。我衷心希望大家能够在交流中取长补短，互鉴互学，增进彼此了解，加深相互认知，为促进世界各国的互利合作和共同发展做出你们这一代人的应有的贡献。最后，预祝本届模联大会取得圆满成功。谢谢大家。
Dr. Irfan Solomon is an educator and entrepreneur. He teaches an enterprise and innovation course at the University of Oxford, and he has founded 4 companies ranging from the healthcare to education sectors. He will speak to you today about the lesson that participating in modern United Nations has taught him about education, career, and life.
Have you ever wondered what it would take to be successful at something? I'm sure we've all asked ourselves that, since it's one of the most common questions that people have. I'm sure you've also heard the generic answer that all you need to do is work hard, right? That if you work hard, you will succeed. But somehow that's not the convincing answer that we want sometimes. I personally didn't like that answer when I was around your age and I was thinking about applying to university within a few years' time. I wanted to know exactly what grades I needed to get, what extracurriculars I should do, what SAT scores I should aim for. But the reality is that there's no guaranteed magic formula, not for university admissions and not for success generally in life. That said, I have learned that there are tangible things that you can do to increase your chances of success. If this ruler represents a range of possible outcomes in your life, and the top half of these outcomes are what you consider to be successful outcomes, obviously the definition of success is also relative. So this may be your ruler, but another person would have a different ruler that's either higher up or lower down than this. But still, if we assume that the top half can be considered successful outcomes, what can you do to increase your probability of landing somewhere in that top half? Notice I say probability, because there's still an element of chance involved. For example, you can work extremely hard, but you'll never be able to control what specific number you land on. You can't, for example, guarantee the outcome of a 9.1, but maybe you can make it likely that you land somewhere between a 6 and a 10. When I tutor students for university admissions, I help them prepare their applications for the US, American universities, Ivy Leagues like Harvard, Yale, Columbia, etc. And I also help them prepare their applications for universities in the UK, Oxford, Cambridge, etc. Students always want to ask me what I did specifically to get accepted to Harvard for my undergraduate, or after I finish my undergraduates, what I did to get accepted to Oxford for my PhD. And they don't like it when I tell them that it wasn't one specific thing that I did. There wasn't a magical formula that I followed. And in fact, it was impossible for me to guarantee any of those outcomes. All I did was work really hard at a number of different components, say 10 or 20 different components, that I knew would help increase the probability of getting one of these outcomes. Now, obviously, there's not enough time today for me to go into all of those different components. But I do want to talk to you about why Model United Nations in general, and specifically participating in Model UN conferences like this one, can be a good example of one such activity that allows you to increase the chances for success within those individual components. For the purposes of today's talk, I want to focus on three things. One is inspiration, two is practical skills, and three is connection. Now, the first point of inspiration is actually an often cited benefit of Model UN, but I think it's a significantly undervalued one. So, as you know, at a Model UN conference, there are a very broad range of topics that delegates could end up discussing. Delegates will end up going into significant depth in their discussions of that topic. This is a really powerful thing because not only does it give you a big picture view of the various topics that currently are being discussed at the real United Nations, but it will also give you a depth of knowledge into perhaps one or two of these topics. And the more Model United Nations conferences that you participate in, the more of these different topics will you be able to have a significant depth of knowledge on. And if you do a good job researching, getting to know the positions of your country, and actually looking into the various layers within each of these topics, you may, by some standards, be a minor relative expert in that topic. The reason that that's so powerful is that the ability to synthesize knowledge is incredibly important. In real life, problems are always multifaceted. What that means is that there may be a historical component that's important, a technological component, a societal component, a mathematical component, and all of these components are necessary to understand in order to fully understand the problem. What knowledge synthesis means is that you are able to draw on different knowledge that you've gained at various times in different settings, draw on those and put them together in a relevant moment, in a relevant way, in order to formulate a brand new and unique opinion or solution or new way of understanding a problem. This is actually important to be able to do in a university admissions interview. It's also really important to be able to do in a job, in your future career. Model United Nations gives you great practice with this because the problems that you discuss at a Model UN conference are multifaceted in nature. Delegates are forced to think about the various different types of components that could exist within problems. Within this inspiration category, there is another element that is crucial. Students often ask me how they should decide what subject to study at university. If you truly take the view that all problems in life are multifaceted, then the decision of what subject to study at university becomes a much less stressful one, because in many ways, it simply becomes about the skills that you want to gain, that you want to learn. So if you see university and a subject that you end up studying simply as a means of expanding your knowledge base, right, in conjunction with internships that you do, extracurricular activities that you participate in, these are all ways in which you can cultivate yourself. Model UN is a really good way to give you inspiration into the types of problems that you might be interested in pursuing in your future career, the types of skills that you need to develop to learn in order to pursue those problems. The way impact is defined in the world, the way success is defined in your future career, will be based on your ability to solve problems. Simply put, that is one of the most fundamental measures of impact that you can consider. If you're able to solve problems, you can change people's lives, you can advance technology, you can advance human society. The second thing I want to talk about are practical skills. Now, It is well known that Model UN will help you develop certain skills, but it's often not emphasized how important these really are. So, as you know, Model UN will help you develop your public speaking skills, your research skills, and your collaboration teamwork skills. These are the three I'd like to focus on. Public speaking will be important for you regardless of what you pursue, regardless of what you study at university, what career you go into. Anything that you do, you will be required to communicate your ideas, to convey messages to people, and to concisely organize your thoughts and communicate them to others so that they remember and understand them. I watched a talk recently that pointed out that all you need to be successful in life is a brain and a mouth. I think that's a good message to keep in mind because, any incredible thing that was achieved by humans, you may think that, these were really smart, really impressive people, but you also have everything that you need to go on and achieve these great things. All you need is a brain and a mouth. Everyone here has a brain and a mouth. So you can set amazing goals for yourself and go on to achieve these incredible feats. And public speaking is crucial to that because it's the only way through which you can get a large group of people to change their way of thinking, change their actions, their behavior, and change how they feel. It's quite a low stakes way to practice collecting information from a variety of sources, right? You can do your online research, you can get information from your fellow delegates, you can come up with new ideas through discussions at a conference. And once you've collected all this information, you then have to practice putting them together and conveying them through either a draft resolution or a speech in the next moderated caucus. By practicing this over and over again, you will eventually become a really effective communicator. You'll be able to synthesize these thoughts, put them together in meaningful ways, and to encourage action. The next important skill that Model UN teaches you is research. Now, the reason that research is so important is that we live in a time, an age, of information overload. So regardless of what you want to do, what problem you want to solve, what project you're working on, you will need to conduct research, and you will need to do it in a way where you critically assess the information that you find and filter those down into the most important, the most crucial. One of the skills that's most valued in companies today is the ability to curate information in an impactful and meaningful way. By doing this again and again at Model United Nations conferences, looking into the positions of your country, looking into policy that has previously passed, looking into previous UN actions, and taking all of that and curating it in the relevant context, in the relevant discussion that you're having within that topic, will help you later on in life. Last but not least, I want to talk a little bit about teamwork and collaboration. There's a saying that I like that says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go as a team. This has been so true in my own life. I can think of different projects that I've done, different companies that I've started. Whenever I was working on something alone, sure, it's true that I could have bursts of energy, bursts of inspiration, and I could do a lot, make decisions quickly on my own. But the most impactful, the most successful things that I've been able to achieve have always been as part of a team. And this is not just true on an individual level, it's true on a societal level, right? If you look at all of the amazing things that human beings have achieved, it's been done through amazing teamwork and collaboration. When the first human got to the moon, it was because there was a whole team of people that was working on that for several years, for decades, right? The idea of going into space started as simply a thought in one or two individuals' minds. And it took decades of work and collaboration to make it a reality. So those are the skills that I wanted to highlight within this practical skills section: public speaking, research, and teamwork/collaboration. The last thing I want to talk about today is connection. Model United Nations gives you the opportunity to meet other students, other peers who are interested and passionate about expanding their knowledge base, learning about new opportunities, and gaining these skills that we've been discussing. The great thing is that it can serve as a forum, as a platform, to bring people together who would otherwise not be in the same place, whether physically or digitally, in today's world. And I want to highlight that because of this concept of serendipitous connections. By attending Model United Nations conferences or other experiential learning events, such as leadership summits, youth summits, etc., you create a higher probability of serendipitous connections happening, of networks forming, of meeting someone who is like-minded and driven, who you have great working chemistry with, that you may go on to pursue a project with together. And this is that final piece. It's that ultimate icing on the cake, right? You work hard to gain new skills, to increase the breadth and depth of your knowledge. And the ultimate piece is to find team members, like-minded individuals that you can work with and take these learnings one step further. And to bring the point home, in the context of university applications, we talked about doing things that would increase the probability of success. The question that you should always be asking yourself is, how can I take this learning opportunity and go one step further? How can I use these practical skills that I've been gaining and take them one step further? How can I create a real impact within my school, within my community, within my country even? And in order to answer these questions, in order to put your learning into practice through real projects, you will need team members, and you will need these platforms that will help bring you and similar peers together. So what is the point that I want you to take away from this talk? It's that in order to achieve success, in order to increase your probability of success, you have to be impact driven. We talked about how the real measure of impact is problem solving. So always be searching for ways to take the skills that you've learned and the knowledge that you've gained and think about how you can apply them through a group project, through the creation of a community initiative, a think tank. Young people like yourselves are capable of accomplishing great things in our world today, right? One of the benefits of technology, one of the benefits of the modern world is that there are no limitations. Your age is not a limiting factor. You don't need to wait until you've gone to university, until you've gained work experience. You can start today and think about how you can bring together the resources that you need to tackle a real problem and to achieve a real impact. Students who can go above and beyond in this regard will receive special consideration in university admissions. I'm always impressed when I interview a candidate who I know has been striving to achieve a real impact from a very young age. They haven't been waiting for someone to give them permission, for someone to give them a degree or a job. They take that initiative themselves and they take the learning that they've gained and find a way to apply it. These are the things that I teach to my students. So when I have one-on-one tutoring sessions, it's usually a series of 12 or 24 sessions to prepare someone to apply to an Ivy League university or to Oxbridge in the UK. I work with students to put some of this theory into real practice, and it takes time. You can't internalize it after a simple 10-15 minute talk like this. You really have to go through the process step by step and put it into practice. So I challenge all of you to take this opportunity at this conference to learn something new, practice some skills, and make new connections. And if you're able to do that, that is the first step. You've done something productive. And after that, ask yourself, how can I put all of this together to create a real impact in this world? Best of luck to all of you as you take on this challenge. And may it lead to a successful outcome. Thank you.
So now I would like to hereby announce that We Modern United Nations Online 2020 is officially open.